Hello users! Hey, how's it going? Welcome to a new series. This is actually the debut of this is actually Forbidden Memoirs. That's the best title I could come up with, given that the title of this game is Forbidden Memories. That's the best I could come up with, so I'm sorry. But this is Forbidden Memoirs. I'm currently working on something in the other tab, doing an unprofessional opener, but this is one of those series that if you like it, you're going to watch it, and if you don't, you're not, and there's nothing I can do about that, and I'm not going to try to impress you. This is going to be down and dirty. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start off this by letting you know that I'm going to be doing this speedrun style. Not that that really means anything, but really what that does mean is that I'm going to be resetting until I get something good. So I'm also going to be seeing if I want to do voice acting here. So I'm gonna read this out, and of course I'm only gonna do it the first time. If I end up resetting like 38 trillion times, I'm not gonna read it every time. But I'm gonna have fun with this series. I'm also gonna make this a lights out series. I'm gonna chill and I'm gonna vibe. And welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories in the Forbidden Memoirs series. And
this is it. I found it at last. The forbidden treasure of the ancient sorcerers.
hopefully you enjoyed that display of personal anguish and suffering that goes on for me. Anyway, this is going to be an amalgam. I'm going to be doing the speedrun style, and I'm also going to give you a lot of lore. This is going to be a lore-heavy video series, so if you're interested in me in any capacity or anything like that, I got lots to talk about with this game, so...
My dear prince, are you going to the city to play cards again? You are royal blood, walking the city streets dressed as a commoner. Have you no shame? Quite frankly, I'm embarrassed.
Run away!
Wait, stop, my prince!
Drat, he's gone!
So it looks like we're a class trader at the start of this game. That's pretty badass, so already this is a great game. But yeah, once I get into the swing of things, we'll be a little bit more pointed. But for right now, I got elf sleight, so that's garbage. So what I'm going to do here, like I said, I'm going to be doing the speedrun style. And what that means, essentially, is I'm just going to reset until I get an equip card that works with Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. Now, the way I'm thinking in my head for the series to work is the first playthrough is going to be a playthrough that is classic. You know, I'm going to use Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. I'm doing deck resets. But if I have fun with this, which I should, and if the users like it, this could be a series I just add to the list. Because there's multiple different ways of playing this game. There's Mystical Sand strats, there's Crimson Sunbird strats, there's all kinds of shit. Strats being short for strategies. So, depending on how this performs on the channel, this might be a new permanent series. We'll see. This is one of my favorite games. Umi and Dark Hole, go fuck yourself. This is one of my favorite games of all time. I would put this in my top 5 without a shadow of a doubt. This game is just beautiful. And again, I'm not using a timer. I'm doing the speedrun style, but I'm not actually doing a speedrun. I was thinking about just doing that for the Speed Play series, but then I realized this game is like, at least with Dungeon Dice Monsters, I'm at least trying to get the world record in that game. This, there's no attempt. So I figured, and also, I like the idea of it being called Forbidden Memoirs, because on top of the fact that memoirs is a good word, memoirs are just, it makes sense because I'm going to go through a lot of old-fashioned lore with this game. Let me check the volume. Okay. And so I started speedrunning in 2013 was when I started speedrunning. Of course, I had played this game as a kid. Let's just get that out of the way. But when I started speedrunning, one of the first games, actually it was like maybe second or third. Second or third, it was something. My first game I speedran was Edge, then I played Chocobo's Dungeon 2. Then I played... I know I played Muppet Racemania, and I played this around the same time. Because I started watching live streamers back in the day of this game. This is when I was new to speedrunning. And the first live streamer I found that played this game was SSBM Stuff. Very eccentric individual. He introduced me to doing races, and then I started racing this game with a bunch of strangers. And at this time, there would be like 20 or 30 people in a Skype call, and it was just chaos, and people were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And it was super cool. But there's lots of lore here that I'm going to get into as we go on. But I've played this game a lot. I've played it a lot. A fuckload, if you will. This is the first time I'm going to be playing this game since I moved. I moved last August from Maryland to North Carolina, and this game I actually lost it for a significant period of time. It was just somewhere. Turns out it was in Pac-Man Fever. It was in Pac-Man fucking Fever, this game. It was just hidden there. So, oops, right? Like, but I found it. I've been kind of going on like every few days a renewed quest going through some of my shit. See if I can find this game, because I've had the idea to do this series for like 2 months now, and I finally found it. So yeah, that's, you know, the way that the series format is going to be, outside of commentary, is I'm going to do one campaign duel per episode, and that's going to be the structure. Obviously, in the case of the mages, the high mages, I'll do 2 per episode. But the rest is going to be dedicated to card farming. And depending on how that goes, we'll see. I mean, there's lots of options here. There's a significant plethora of options. If you know anything about this game, you know that this game is a shitfucker. I don't need to explain it. However, for those of you that don't know anything about this game, again, you're in for a real one. There's a lot of people out there that maybe will be watching this that like Yu-Gi-Oh! But haven't played this game. Or, you know, people that played the game got really confused and then don't really know anything about it as a result, you know, when they were young, like me, for example. But I know this game inside and out. I'm doing the classic 2013 strats. And strats, basically, if you don't know what that means strategies. But what that means is basically you just fucking do a let's play. That's what that means. I know there's lots of newfangled ways to play this game, but I'll get into that. I stopped taking this game seriously in the sense that I was trying to keep up with strategies in like 2015. But I've played it a lot ever since then just for fun, because this is a fun game. And there's even a saga, so to speak. There is most definitely a saga where I play this game every day, all day, for 3 or 4 months, I think. And I'll get into that later. But the first video here, I'm just kind of doing some lore while I deck reset. The 5 equip cards that I would like to get would be Invigoration, Beast Fangs, Dragon Treasure, Dark Energy. What's the last one? What's the last one? There's one more. Invigoration, Beast Fangs, Dark Energy, Dragon Treasure. There's one more. Maybe if I see it, I'll use it. Fuck, I feel like a fucking moron, but I haven't played this game in like at least 9 months, but probably longer. I don't know, because again, I moved a while ago, so, and it'd been a while since I played the game at that point as well. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I do know that it's 5 equip cards, though. Another thing is, I'm drinking coffee infused with tetrahydrocannabinols. So, I'm going to be very high throughout this, and that's the way to play it. Well, some of my first experiences with marijuana were while playing this game, and that's kind of like an experience that I kind of want to relive in a way. I'm a very nostalgia-oriented person. I'm very old-fashioned in that sense. Everything I played as a kid, I just have an undying addiction toward. And I don't know how long the deck resetting is going to last. You know, just, it'll last, you know? But yeah, each video is going to be, the quota that I usually go for these kind of videos is half an hour. We'll see how that goes. It might be longer. It depends on how the card farming goes. Because the way I want to do it is I want to end with card farming and start the video off with doing a campaign duel. So like I said, like, you know, the first campaign duel will be in the first video. And then I'll farm until then, and then the second video, and then I'll go from there. But, and I'm going to be trying to do all the duels, which trying doesn't, you know, you don't really need to try. But I'm going to be trying to do all the duels. So, the way that works is I might have to do several chains of duels, but really in between save menus is how that'll go. Because there's a part where you have to do 3 villagers kind of in a row. So I'm probably going to do that at the start. But again, I need a good deck. In conjunction with an equip card that works on Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, you also want to get Raigeki. The 2 options for that slot are Raigeki and Dark Hole. You will get either one of those. Dark Hole destroys all cards on the field, including your own, and including magic and trap. Whereas Raigeki destroys all enemy monsters. So Dark Hole can be useful if there's if you're going against Dark Knight, which is one of the late game bosses, and they have like 6 or 5 magic and trap cards in the field. Dark Hole can be useful there, but outside of that one context, right? Outside of that like very limited scope, Raigeki is going to be superior. So it's just one of those things where it's like these cards are really hard to get. So if you're going to get them in any way, doing it via the deck resetting is the easiest way to do it. And I'll go into different strategies later. I remember the Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories speedrunning community kind of views me as a pariah, which is really funny, and I'll get into that later. The main reason for that is because I speedran the game in a way that they did not approve of. And I didn't discover anything. I was just the first one to use a known glitch in the speedrun. There was this kind of like mutual pact to not use a glitch because it made the game unfun to speedrun. And I was just like, oh, what if you just use the glitch? Because the leaderboard had no rules against it. It was just kind of like the people that knew of the glitch agreed not to use it. I never was in on any agreement. You can't find me anywhere. And then people in 2013 and 2014, there was a lot of people that had never played this game before that got into it. And most of the people played on emulator. And emulator, I'm not sure if this is possible on, but there's a way basically to copy the cards from file to file. So if you're on console and you have multiple memory cards, you can just duplicate cards by copying them around. And so I was like, okay, I'll just do a speedrun with that. And I shattered the record and people got mad at me and I thought it was really funny. And because of that, I'm kind of a pariah in the speedrunning community. But the speedrunning community for this game is pretty garbage. It started off pretty good, like back in the day. It was a nice little cluster of folks, but kind of just got a bunch of insufferable grifters that went onto this game. And this is like one of those things with speedrunning. And again, there's going to be a lot of lore in this video. One of the things with speedrunning that's super cringy is you have so many grifters that will like play a game and then they'll play that game for the express purpose of getting viewers off of it. So back in the day, I was getting hundreds of viewers playing this game, like 100 to 200 every single time. And so there's a lot of people that had never played the game before seeing that, because that was one of those things where every streamer that played this game got a fuckload of people watching. Because this was kind of like during the big boom of speedrunning, and this was like a very popular game, I guess. It has like a cult phenomenon. And so then a bunch of grifters started playing the game, and they really ruined the community. And those are a lot of the people that are in charge now. Fun fact, actually, one of the guys who had the world record for this game for like a year, turned out that they cheated the entire time, they were just a total grifter, and they knew that the game was shitty, so they just modified the game to change the luck values so that they would get better drops. This guy's name was Mergy, by the way. He's still, I think, relatively popular in his own circles, but total grifter. Complete piece of garbage. So basically, he modified the game to make certain drops happen more often, so we could get those like click moments. It's like, oh my god, I gotta look at me, I'm epic, and then he'd like flip out on stream, and just act like a total jackass. And you have other people that did that too, like Games for Charity as well. Who's he's relatively decent guy. I've talked to him a bit. He's not like a terrible person like Mergy is, but he's a total grifter. Total grifter. And like, there's a lot of people that just were total grifters in this game. And I'll go into that as far as this progresses. But I mean, 15 minutes, this is pretty average. Beast Fangs, Raigeki. Alright, never mind. And I got Yamatano, so Yami is shit, but whatever. This is the deck. This is the deck, y'all. So thanks for sticking in with me. This is going to be officially the beginning of Forbidden Memoirs. So again, if this is a series where either you like it or you don't like it, that's just how it's gonna go. And so there's two options. You can do the beginning quest line, which is totally optional, or you can go to the future. And the future is where this game majority takes place. This is the prologue. So I'm going to do all the duels. So I'm going to do the pre-quest line. And a lot of these you have to like chain the fights together. So again, the whole one fight per video thing, that'll kick in basically when it can. But I think maybe I'll just go throughout the whole prologue here, just because there's, you have to chain most of them.
I've been waiting for you, Woofer. Jono is already here. Was also here a few minutes ago, but he's gone now. How about a duel? Okay, let's play. Hope you're not a sore loser.
I am totally a sore loser, so hopefully I win. But yeah, so you have Jono, who is Joey in ancient times. That's actually just his Japanese name they use for the prologue version. So one thing about this game that people will probably be immediately confused upon is how it's played. There's this fusion system. This isn't like Yu-Gi-Oh! I buy the cards and I play them, and this has nothing to do with it. So now that we're in the gameplay, I'll start getting there, and I have good fusions here. The thing about this game was Yu-Gi-Oh! Started off as a manga, and then it was converted to an anime. But they realized that the thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Was that it was a manga about random-ass games. It was not Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. There were no such thing as Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards for a significant period of time. And the first several... You may have heard of Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0. This is before they came up with the cards of the manga. The manga used to be about, like, like you roll a die. Like maybe you do like playing cards, like, like with the aces and the hearts and shit. Some things were like, Russian roulette was a thing that they did. And, there's just a bunch of random, like, games. And that was kind of what the show and manga was about. And then they came into, oh, well, let's introduce our own custom game called Duel Monsters. And that proved pretty popular. So in the early the late 90s, this is when this game was being developed. They were like, how can we translate the Duel Monsters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga and anime, which is becoming more and more successful? How could we translate that into a playable card game that we can market? And this story will be on pause.
Ouch! Looks like I lost. Oh well. I'll play you again when I get a little better.
So now you do all the villagers that I mentioned before.
I'll see you later.
There's some kind of festival going on in the town plaza, but we'd rather play games right here like we always do. Wanna take me on? Come on, let's play a game.
This guy's got real Joe Biden energy.
Okay, let's play.
But yeah, so basically they came up with several beta rule sets. And then they were like, yo, we really need to make a video game, because this is at the time where the series, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Started to get popular. I think Beast Fangs works on this guy, it does. And so they were like, yo, we need to make a game out of this. Like, this needs to be something we can sell. So they rushed and used one of the beta rule sets to make Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. And this came out in Japan in, I believe, 1998. And the thing about it coming out in Japan in 1998 was it came out in the United States, I think in 2000. And so with that, the thing was, by the time this came out in the United States, people were already getting used to, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was getting localized and it was starting to get popular. And then the card game started to come out. I think it must have come out in 2001 in the United States, maybe it's late 2000. I don't remember the exact release date. I'm sorry, I should if I'm gonna do like this for, but I just don't. I don't remember. I'll do that. So then it started to come out in the United States, and people were playing, and at this point they had already, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards were already a thing in Japan, and they started to get localized, and Legend of Blue Eyes came out in 2001, the first set of Yu-Gi-Oh! And so when people were playing this game, they were playing it and then like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In real life with the finalized rule set, and then going like, what, this is nothing like this. In this game you fuse random monsters, you can just fuse whatever, like you always have 5 cards in your hand. There's so many different rules here. And so this is this is a beta rule set. They came up with this game, no one really understood that this game is like 3 years old in Japan basically. So they came up with a beta rule set just to rush this game out to market in Japan and for Japanese audiences. And then they localized it, like way later when Yu-Gi-Oh! Started getting popular in other countries. And because, this game was Yu-Gi-Oh!, it sold well, but it had that weird beta rule set that no one understood. So that's what most people really know about this game. If they've played it as a kid, or if they've played it in any capacity, they'll know that it's not like the Yu-Gi-Oh! I know. And then they get confused, and then they can't do anything, and then they end up losing over and over again, and then they suck. So the way this game works, and again, I'll explain more mechanically later, but also, the way this game works fundamentally is it's type-based, and again, pause.
Well, let's play again sometime.
So again, I'm just doing this whole quest line because you have to kind of string it together.
Hey, did you find yourself any rare cards? I managed to find a pretty good card myself. If you want to try it, you'll have to beat me. But if you lose, you'll have to give me one of yours. All right, let's play.
I love to play. But yeah, so the way this game works is you'll notice that also in regular Yu-Gi-Oh!, all monsters have types. Like grass, fire, bug, fiend, and so forth. And so the fusion system works based on these types. So like, for example, if you combine a fire type and a beast type, you get Flame Cerberus, which is a beast on fire. If you combine a female, which is a subtype, an unlisted subtype, so if you combine a female and a rock type, you get Mystical Sand. So, again, before I mentioned, anyone that knows anything about this game knows what Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon is. But again, if you have that bizarre kind of childhood nostalgia without understanding this game at all, there are several good cards that you can fuse from basic materials. Mystical Sand is one of them. Any female plus any rock will give you mystical fucking sand. Just like how any flame type and any beast type, well, there's actually a few that don't, but, we'll get into that later. There's a bunch of fake types. Will make Flame Cerberus. And any dragon plus any intermediary, which is plant, rock, stuff like that, plus a thunder, will make Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, which has 2,800 attack power, which is basically the best card you can get in this game with basic materials. And it's, that's just how it is. So again, this is going to be classic. I'm going to be not, holding anything back. I'm going to go for Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, and I'm going to make my deck based around Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. But if this series does well and people like it, I'll do a Season 2 or a Series 2, so to speak, where I do a full game run with Mystical Sand, for example, which is something I've tried to do before and never actually managed to do. So there's a lot of things that'll be fun here.
You won! I guess I owe you a card!
One more villager here.
You talking to me, boy? I got better things to do unless you want to challenge me. Okay, boy, let's play.
Alright, so let's pop some of these fuckers in. Okay. So, really the shittiest fucking things in this game are fiends and insects. So I'm gonna get rid of some of the really shitty fiends and then throw these waters in, because waters you can use, they're better like basic material for fusion. So the other thing that you'll notice when you finish a duel is there's a rank. Now Gate D here is actually real quick. This is a fake beast, so it does not make Flame Cerberus, so it's one of those fake beasts. But you know, so yeah, fuck, I forgot what I was saying. Cause I'm sorry, I'm getting really high right now, so I might lose my train of thought here, but it'll be more natural. Totally forgot what I was gonna say. This guy's got dragon zombies straight off the board. Yeah, so basically, when this happens, this'll happen, the enemy will play a card that none of your singular cards can go up against. So, like, you can't play, you know, Uchugi, and then, like, fucking, that'll work. So you have to get into a point where you just start shuffling your cards out. And the thing is, you always will have a hand of 5, so you can throw out 5 cards and you'll draw 5 cards, and that's how this game functions. I totally forgot what Skelgon has. I think it's Moon. Whew. Another thing that this game has that you kind of don't see often are 3D battles. And the 3D battles in this game, you know, I'll show them off just because. In a speedrun, you don't really do this, but here's a 3D battle. So if you hit X, it'll just do a regular battle, but this little button right here, square, press square on a card, and then we fade out. Now, each section of the game has its own unique song here, and each field type has a unique field. And when you choose Guardian Stars, which I'll explain more in a second, they have a different attack or defend animation. So there is a lot of effort that went into this. This was probably 90% of the development. And this is something that if you speedrun the game, basically, you'll never watch. You'll never look at this. Like, it's just never something you'll look at, just because it costs time. But it's super cool, and this isn't a speedrun, so I'm going to show off a bunch of cool stuff. You know, so I'll just do this again. So Guardian Stars, again, this is a beta rule set, and this is like a rock, paper, scissors, like kind of like great equalizer system, where like Moon is better than Venus, Sun is better than Moon, Mercury is better than Sun, and so forth. So basically you have 2 Guardian Stars that you can choose on any card. Every card has a preset 2 Guardian Stars, and basically you can choose which one you want before summoning. And say if you have, say the enemy throws a defense position Cosmo Queen, and you have a twin-headed Thunder Dragon. Well, Cosmo Queen typically has 2,900. Twin-headed Thunder Dragon has 2,800. Twin-headed Thunder Dragon's Guardian Stars are Pluto and Moon. Cosmo Queen is Venus. So, by default, you'll choose Pluto, but if you make the conscious choice to switch down to Moon, that gives you the rock, paper, scissors bonus, and what that does is it just gives you 500 attack and defense. That's all it does. So, then that'll allow you to, you know, it's kind of like, you know, like a super effective from Pokemon kind of thing. It's very much so like that. And it's just a cool thing in this game. It's just like one of those things that makes it super unique. But again, I'll be doing the whole prologue here, just because this is the first video. And then in the next video, we'll go from doing the prologue to the actual main game. So like I said, this is the past. The prologue takes place in the past. And then the most of the game takes place in the future, where you have Yugi in the future, and then you've got a Tim, the Pharaoh, in the past, who I've named Woofer. So that'll be basically the way that goes. So I'll do the whole prologue in this video. It took me a little bit with deck resets, so I'll give that to you. And then the next video, we'll go from the prologue to modern times. And then from that point, again, I'll show you more about farming. I'll give you more scoops from the glory days, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, again, this game is a true classic. It's definitely just one of those games, right? Like, it's just one of those fucking games. Frog the Jam, my good friend.
I reckon I lost. Looks like this just isn't my day.
So now what we can do is we can go outside, and then Tayana will block us, because the future one is Taya and this one is Tayana.
Hey, did you know that there's a festival going on in the town plaza? Come on, let's check it out. I'll bet we'll find Jono there.
Jono, of course, short for Genouchi, which is the Japanese manga name for Joey, but that's also the past name that they took for this part of the game.
Wow, there are lots of people around.
To differentiate them.
Look, the mages are about to start their procession.
So this is where this, like, again, this whole thing is optional, but if you do it, it just kind of gives you some backstory. It gives you a little bit of, like, just what the kind of time period is like. And also keep in mind that this game was kind of written before any of the real Yu-Gi-Oh! Ancient Egyptian backstory was set into place in the actual manga and anime. So this is kind of its own unique twist based off of, like, very little details from the original manga, because, you know, again, at the time, all this stuff hadn't been fleshed out in the manga and anime, but there were some details, and they kind of just ran hog wild with those details.
Awesome! But kind of spooky, too. This must be work of that detestable High Mage, High Shin. When I was a kid, it used to be more wholesome. Even the attitude of the mages has changed for the worse. What's our world coming to?
I love the whole political element of this game. And I just totally missed that part, I'm sorry.
Look, it's Jono! I can't believe it, but he's dueling over there!
So one of the things in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime and manga is the duel monsters used to be real monsters in the past, and then they were kind of turned into a card game, but of course, this is just, you know, it's its own thing. So the cards are still cards in this version of the prologue in the Ancient Egypt section of this game. They're still literal cardboard cards. I don't know where they came from, I don't know how it works, but they're not monsters sealed into tablets, they're cards.
I lost. I believe I have wasted my efforts on an insignificant speck. Say what? Forgive my choice of words. You are mildly entertaining.
Hey, Jono!
Tiana Woofer!
Woofer? I love Woofer.
What's going on?
Oh, wait.
What's going on?
What do you think? Ain't it obvious?
You lost!
Don't be so blunt. I didn't lose. I had a setback.
I grow weary of this insect. Is there not one among you that is worthy of my attention?
Keep in mind that the lore is we're LARPing as a commoner, but we're actually royalty. We're a class trader, which is pretty badass. I love that kind of, again, that stylization is just super good.
Man, the nerve of this guy.
Hey, Woofer, why don't you challenge him? After all, you're the best duelist I've ever seen.
Yeah, I just wiped everyone at the dueling grounds out first try.
I'll bet you can beat him.
Yeah, Woofer, do it. Show him who's boss around here.
Hello, are you my next victim? I hope you are better than the last one. Come, let us duel.
Master Seto, Master Haishin calls for you.
Again, previously, the detestable High Mage, and also the guy from the intro, from before I did the deck resetting thing.
I see. So be it, this duel is postponed. Am I correct in assuming that you frequent the town's duel field?
That's right.
Again, the protagonist can't talk here. There's actually literally one moment in the game where the protagonist talks, and there's only one, and I'll mention that later.
Then wait there, I shall grace you with a visit. Seto is my name, remember it.
Can you believe that guy? A mage with attitude.
Yeah, a real trauma.
I got a feeling Woofer will put him in his place. Won't you, buddy? Come on, let's look around and then head for the duel field.
I wish you got to like look around the actual town plaza, but you don't, sadly. Just out of safety, I'm gonna save here. If you lose any time in the campaign, you get booted to the main menu, so you gotta save if you can. Unable to locate data. What does that mean? With save data? What? Hello? What does that mean? Unable to locate data? What does that mean? Hold the phone? Hold the phone? This might be a... Plug in memory card with saved data? I don't have a memory card with saved data. I'm trying to save the data. What? Plug in memory card with saved data. What the fuck? Yo, I think the game just ruined my fucking Let's Play. What? This is a bizarre glitch. I've never seen this. Unable to locate load data? But I'm saving. I'm trying to save. What? I'm sorry, y'all. It seems I'm owned. Unable to locate load data? What? What does that mean? Unable to locate load data? I'm just gonna Google this real quick. This seems to be like a fucking emulator glitch, except it's like literally happening on my fucking video game console. Oh, I'm finding her. Emulator. Shit. This is bizarre. Unable to locate load data. Plug in memory card with saved data. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Sorry, folks. My apologies. Gotta go under the hood here. See what the hell's the haps. I think I have another memory card around here somewhere, but is it in here? No. Yo, I might be owned. I might like this might be fucked up. I've never experienced this before, like literally ever. I guess. Here's the thing, I thought I saved. It's possible the save data got corrupted as I was saving. The first time after the deck. I guess this is bunk. I'll have to start over. Damn. I mean, it was a good first episode, right? But like, what the fuck? That sucks. Unformatted? What? Yo, did my memory card break? Yo. This game is cursed. This game is cursed. I lost all my save data for all the PS1 games I play. Chocobo's Dungeon 2 and Muppet Racemania, they're gonzo. Damn, are you fucking kidding me? This game broke the fucking memory card. Wow. 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 That's wild. That is fucking wild. Holy shit. This game broke my memory card. Damn. That sucks, because I Fuck. Oh well. Tune in next time, where I dig up another memory card and the struggle continues.